You're our first human.
The end of your story is easy.
Arrogant American family comes to Africa. Africa embraces arrogant American family. Welcome to the jungle.
MJ,
Jeffrey,
how are you?
I'm very, very good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for talking to me today about endangered species.
You're super welcome. I'm happy to be here.
You know, the Halsey family vacation wanted to be special. Whoa, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, not quite in the way they expected.
My family went on a Kenyan safari about 6, 7 years ago. They invited me and I didn't go. So big regret, but it looked like, one of the greatest trips they've ever had, and I wish I went. But movies like this really frustrate me, MJ.
Why?
It's because, I'm adventurous, but I follow the rules.
Right. Well, this
I'm not a stick. I'm not a stick in the mud. I know if we didn't follow the rules, we wouldn't have a movie. But I'm just like, there's just a part of me going, you get what you deserve when you decide to go off-roading on a Kenyan safari and things go wrong. No car, no cell phone, no food, no water, no medicine. It makes for a thrilling adventure, but hey.
Isn't it the classic thing about any horror movies? Like, don't go down the dark corridor alone. Don't turn on the lights. Don't do the things. If we just followed the rules, life would be better. And I think you're probably right. But none of them. He just wanted a good family vacation. He wanted to fix the troubles with his wife and his life and make a difference. And this is what happens.
He made him worse, I think.
I think a little bit.
Well, this movie's like Naked and Afraid without being naked, right? So.
Well, it's weirdly enough, there's a Naked and Afraid reference in the movie.
Yeah, yes.
We were I was watching. I love that show so much.
Yeah, me too.
I had a load on my laptop, and I was watching them, and I kept telling everybody about all these. Said, you've got to watch Naked and Afraid. They're like, what the hell is that? So yes, we all learned about Naked and Afraid during the making of Endangered Species.
It's funny when you watch this film, people don't realize how vulnerable they are, how modern man is. They're living prey. When you get out in the elements, when you watch Naked and Afraid, you try to kind of disassociate that there's a camera crew there too, but they stay out of the way. So watching this, I'm thinking, there's danger at every turn when human beings are put in that situation.
Oh, humans are incredibly vulnerable creatures, and this is one of the reasons why. If you look at human evolution, that we needed to develop tools. We have to have a big brain because we have nothing else going for us. We're kind of squishy, soft, creatures that are very, very vulnerable. And we have a history of being eaten by large predators. But the thing about Africa is that, well, again, the other thing I have to be careful about just saying Africa. Africa is like 54 countries. So in places like Kenya and sub-Saharan Africa, and areas where there are these large predators, we are super vulnerable. When you go outside at night, there is a danger of being eaten by something. It's as simple as that. And it's a very strange feeling to have because we live in this very, very safe life. I had the same feeling when I first went down in a cage with great white sharks. It's like you just think, oh, there is a super predator. There is something which doesn't really care about me at all. There's a scene in the movie which is actually cut from the movie, but I wanted to get us into the river to do some work, and there are crocodiles everywhere. It's like, oh, you can't do that. There are literally things here that want to kill you. And it's wonderful because it reduces you back to your basic sense of what it is to be human, which is very, very, very vulnerable, relying on your friends and your colleagues. And that's the only way you get through in the world.
Well, that's an interesting comment, MJ, but then you turn that around because it switches from out of Africa to the most dangerous game, which shows you that man is the most evil predator on earth, right?
Oh, by orders of magnitude, right? Because we do it with motivation. We do it for purposes which are selfish or egotistical or whatever it's going to be. And I think, that's the movie does move through several genres, which is what I like to do with my stuff. And I did it with Rogue, my last movie with Megan Fox, and I do it with this one as well. Because I want to make films which are kind of exciting entertainment, fluff pieces in a way, but they have these underlying messages which you can take if you want to. I'm not going to ram them down anybody's throats. I'm a passionate conservationist. I think our planet is dying. I think it's the only conversation we should be having because nothing else matters if your life support system fails. And if you can get a few people just to go, oh yeah, that's a bad thing. Let's try to be more thoughtful or sensitive. And whether rhinos become ultimately extinct or not has no real effect on anybody's day-to-day life, but it's an indicator of how we feel about our planet. And that to me is an important conversation to have without wanting to be so, proselytizing about it. Take it or don't. It's not. I just enjoy the movie is the first thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the movie like Kenya, it used to be called Kenya when we were working on it. The movie like Endangered Species, gets to do a lot of different things if you want it, and it's a rock'em sock'em action picture at the end of it as well.
But what were the challenges in shooting? Where did you shoot this? What locations? Because it sets perfect.
We shot it in Kenya, obviously.
Yes.
It was going to be shot in South Africa, but COVID came along and locked the planet down. I was actually shooting Halo in Budapest when COVID happened. We all got sent home. I got stuck in the UK. I live in the US. Couldn't get back because of paperwork. So I was suddenly like, what am I going to do for however long this takes? My producing partner is in LA. We were supposed to be making Endangered Species. Like, well, can we still make this? Is there a window of opportunity to make? It's a small movie in the middle of nowhere. That's a kind of COVID-friendly production. Where can we go? Couldn't get to South Africa. Kenya was still open, and I'd always wanted to go to Kenya because I started in natural history filmmaking and had never got the opportunity to go to one of the great iconic wildlife places on Earth. I thought, yeah, if I can use this movie as an excuse to do that, I'll be happy. So we've called Kenyan production company and said, hey, we brought a little film. Could you help us out? And they're like, yeah, we can do that. So we went there. I called Philip Winchester, who I worked with for years, said, would you come, Phil? He's like, yeah, if I can get out, I'll do it. Rebecca was interested. She'd been to Kenya before years earlier when she was modeling. She said, can I bring my family? I'm like, yeah, I think we can manage that. She's married to Jerry O'Connell, which I didn't realize at the time.
Right.
And Jerry was like, can I help? I said, well, you can be in it.
Is there a part for my husband?
It was like,
yeah.
No, Jerry was like, I'll just come and help, and I'll move boxes and I'll paint stuff, whatever you need me to do, because he's that kind of guy. And it was like, you can be in it, being an actor. And he's like, well, yeah. And he smashes it. He's great.
You're gonna have to hunt your wife in this film. Is that okay? Can you get into character with?
You know what? I think it was more than okay.
Whoa.
It was fun. But the other thing as well is that going to somewhere like Kenya is, and this is where you really, really missed out on your family vacation. It's a transformative experience for a lot of people. It's so different. Even the wildernesses of America, and you have these incredible, beautiful, vast wildernesses, they don't quite have this primal sense of the African nations.
Right.
Because there's something like, we came from this place.
The cradle of civilization. Yeah, exactly.
It really, really is. And the predators, so they're still the big predators have survived. So as we talked about earlier, you feel like you have a place in the landscape and in the world which you don't feel in many other places. And I've traveled very widely, and still you go back to Africa and some of these places, and you just go, wow, I feel different. And I think Jerry really connected in that way. I know Rebecca did, and Phil and I have shot in Africa a lot. So
right, I don't want to say this was a simple shoot, but basically, I mean, you didn't have large set pieces. You were shooting the outdoor. It seemed like it was a kind of a guerrilla, down and dirty kind of shoot.
Sure, it's an 18-day shoot.
Yeah.
You go in there. It's the biggest prop is the van. And it was designed to be a COVID movie. There was and everything which in earlier drafts of the script had been big, we stripped right the way down. We said, if I can get actors, if I can get a van, and I'll discover. So we were literally driving around, and I go, stop. The landscape looks amazing here. Let's get out and shoot this scene.
Awesome.
So, and I love shooting like that. And I've just done a movie, a TV show with Chris Pratt called Terminal List. I've just finished shooting it, which is a much more formal kind of way of doing something. So I get to do that, which is formal filmmaking, and something like Endangered Species, which is my sort of rock and roll vibe. And you get a little bit, it's a little bit loose around the edges in places, but it also allows cast and just the creativity to come through. It's like, I only had one van. We can only afford one van. So when it got tipped on its side, that was it, right? It wasn't coming back. So I had to make sure that I'd shot everything prior to that.
Right.
Because when we tipped it over, we were all standing around going, right. I hope we've done it.
Get the rhino back to one. This is our only shot.
Exactly.
MJ, what an exciting movie. Thank you so much for joining me today. I mean, I love these kind of films. They're just so exciting, and especially the story behind it. So thank you so much, and come visit us in Las Vegas soon. We'd love to have you.
I'd love to, honey, Jeffrey. It's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Take care.